Nothing like a failed recording attempt because you didn't notice that your mic was plugged in. Hey everyone, James Baek here and welcome back to another episode of VGC 2020 Baek Battles. Today we are going to be continuing to use this Colossal team with Colossal Tyranitar, Rotom Mo, Braviary, Duraludon, and the Gastrodon. So, I had a really good episode that was planned, but unfortunately, the mic wasn't working. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. So that recording was lost. Never get that one back. But regardless, we're going to keep moving on. That means I get to play more games with this team. And we'll see how this goes. So the common question for today involves music. So what is your favorite soundtrack or song in Pokemon Sword and Shield? Mine's probably the Gym Leader theme. If we're talking about battles. And then if it's for the overworld theme, I think it's the... And I can't remember. It's the forest next to your house. I can't remember what it's called, but I actually really like that song. We got Taro here as our first opponent with the team of Mandibuzz, Dragapult, Sylveon, Arcanine, Rotom, and Fairthorn. So pretty standard team. I think this team was Hirafumi's team, because he was using something very similar at least. So yeah, that's something that I'm going to have to be a little bit careful about. The Mandibuzz is very scary to deal with, as well as the potential... What could be scary? The Rotom Wash? Yeah, I think I'm going to go Tyranitar plus Colossal, though. It's actually really good against this team overall. I don't really see a way that my opponent really breaks through it, especially under Sand. Which will boost my special defense with Colossal, so I don't have to really worry about like the Mandibuzz or anything like that. I think I'm definitely bringing Gastrodon in the back. I think Gastrodon's really good here. And I think Rotom Mo is pretty solid as well. It's a pretty much standard 4 that I bring with this team. But I just really like these 4 because they're just super solid against my opponent. And they just cover each other super well because the Gastrodon will protect me from the Rotom Wash's Hydro Pump. Or if it goes for the Dynamax, the max water type move. Then if and then like Colossal and Tyranitar just basically deal with everything else basically. So yeah, pretty safe here I think just to go with that combination. We'll see what my opponent decides to do here. But yeah, Mandibuzz can be a scary Pokemon. It does get access to Foul Play. We saw it a bunch back in Generation 7. We usually saw it with the Seed variant, but yeah, in a bulky variant, I guess now we run Berry. Or sometimes we see Psychic Seed now. We're going to see the Sylveon plus Arcanine lead, which is fine here, as I will lead my Colossal plus my Tyranitar here. And then, not really that scared of the Sylveon. It can't really threaten much, so I think I'm fine to just Surf and Dynamax my Colossal right here. Intimidate going to be fired off, doesn't really change much here. And yeah, I just don't see a problem with going for Surf here. Surf is very safe, and I will go for the Dynamax and just Rockfall the Tyranitar. I'm not really worried about the Sylveon. It just doesn't really threaten my Colossal. It can do damage to my Tyranitar, I guess, but as long as it cannot touch Colossal, especially with Hidden Power no longer being a thing, it can't go for like a Hidden Power ground to touch my Colossal. So in Sand, it just really doesn't do much here. We're going to see the retreat here from my opponent into the Rotom Wash, which is completely fine for me. As let's see what my opponent does, because I'm not sure what my opponent's response is to Dynamax Colossal here, because yeah, this thing's going to start sweeping unless this is like a choice scarf on the Arcanine, and I'm hoping that's not the case. We'll bring out the Colossal. I think my opponent was thinking maybe it's a physical variant and was trying to catch a Flare Blitz with the Sylveon into the Rotom Wash slot, but nope, I'm a special variant, so that means I'll be able to knock out the Arcanine as I actually crit my own Colossal. But we do get our speed boost, and we will be able to KO the Arcanine right here. And then next turn, we just get to go out into our very safe Gastrodon switch. My opponent really doesn't have anything for it, so Max Rockfall, since there was no Dynamax on my opponent's side, should knock out this Arcanine as it does. Nice. And Arcanine goes down, so that's one threat to my Rotom Mo gone, which is really nice because Rotom Mo actually does really good against my opponent's team as well. Let's see what my opponent's response is. If it's Fairthorn, I'm going to go for the Max Flare onto it to knock it out, so my Gastrodon can switch in safely. Hopefully it can switch in safely, because even if it is the Hirafumi set, and I believe it was Assault Vest, I don't think it's living +2 stab Max Flare from Colossal. We're going to see Sylveon come back in though, which is completely fine. I'm just going to go my Gastrodon here, I think. And I think I just go for... Did I go for Max Overgrow? Yeah, it helps that the Rotom Wash Dynamax is here, right? Yeah, and I get my recovery back, which I think is pretty nice against my opponent's team. So I'm actually going to go for the Max Overgrow, because I want to keep the sand up so I take the attacks from Sylveon better. Rotom Wash is Thunderbolt, probably does more than Sylveon's Hyper Voice to me anyway. The Sylveon really can't do too much damage to my Colossal, and basically the Colossal is the thing I'm trying to sweep with right now. So I think it's completely fine. I'm not really too worried about it. I'm just worried about if I get Sun Up and then Thunderbolt happens, maybe paras me, and then like a crit or something. That could get annoying. So we'll retreat hard into Gastrodon here. Let's see, my opponent goes for the Dynamax, which is very possible. As nope, it looks like no Dynamax here. We will get a Max Overgrow, and yeah, that's able to knock out the Rotom Wash. But if Rotom Wash Dynamax and tried to get a cheeky Max Water move onto my Colossus, I just want to make sure that I play it safe. Also, like locking myself into Surface, and that great for me after turn 1. So yeah, just keeping it safe. Hyper Voice is going to come out. As you can see, really doesn't do too much to my Pokemon here. As Sylveon will take a little bit of sand and will heal with the grassy terrain. But the Sylveon will heal with grassy terrain. But that's alright because the Colossal is basically the important part. And we'll see what my opponent's last Pokemon is in the back. If it's fair for this game, should be a wrap, as I should just be able to click the Max Flare, as it is Dragapult actually coming out. So Tyranitar is looking really good. I'm thinking of whether I should target down the Dragapult or I should target down the Sylveon. Realistically, the Sylveon's the bigger threat. Yeah, Sylveon's the bigger threat. So I'm going to Earth Power here. And should I get up to Sun? It doesn't really change much. It changes my Spadef boost, which is the only thing why I'm considering Max Overgrowing here. Because I already have the Stab boost. Actually, yeah, there's no point not to just Max Overgrow. Because I get the Stab and I keep my Spadef boost. So we will see a Dynamax from my opponent. I'm guessing it's a Dragapult. I don't think my opponent will think that Sylveon's the win con here, but we'll see. Yeah, it's going to be Dragapult trying to live a attack here. But really, Sylveon's the threat that I need to KO. So we could see Dynamax and Protect here to stall out my own Dynamax, which would be fair. Or maybe just go on the offensive here. As, nope, just goes on the offensive. Max Overgrow going to come out into Sylveon. That should do it still a decent amount. Yeah, that's a pretty good amount. I just need to put in range of Rock Slide. Max Phantasma, let's see what kind of variant it is. I think it's special because it just didn't do too much. Oh, is my attack or defense? It is defense, okay. Dragon is attack. Hyper Voice is going to come out. Not really doing too much, as Earth Power will come out into the Sylveon slot. Almost picks up the knockout, but that's basically the range I need it to be for the Rock Slide. So, or just like an Assurance, just in case. As we will heal a little bit more. I could probably just Protect here and sack Gastrodon. I think that's a very fair play. I could also just Ancient Power to Sylveon slot. Trying to think, what's the 100% win con right here? It would be to... Would it be to double Protect? Well, I don't have Protect on the Gastrodon. Actually, I think it's just to recover Gastrodon and Protect here with my Colossal, because the Dragapult can't knock me out. I still have to turn Dynamax. And basically, like, I'm just trying to avoid sending a Tyranitar against Max Bug, potentially. Which, you know, if it crits, could knock out my Tyranitar. And yeah, there is a Protect from the Sylveon. So I do call the Sylveon Protecting, just to preserve it for an endgame Tyranitar, potentially. As Max Phantasma once again into the Colossal, but as I protected to stall out a turn, and I recovered here because like either Gastrodon was going down to Hyper Voice and my opponent didn't protect, or I was getting to recover off, so Gastrodon guaranteed lives another turn. So yep, that's basically what I wanted. As now Gastrodon healing quite a bit back, and yeah, now I can go for the Ancient Power into the Sylveon slot and try to pick up that knockout. I'll Ice Beam the Dragapult here because I'll try to get some chip on it. Or is it better to go for Scald to burn it just in case it crits me. I think it's a special variant. I might as well just Ice Beam just to get the chip. And Ancient Power the Sylveon slot. Let's see if my opponent gets a double. Even if my opponent gets a double, it's not really like a terrible position. Because I just send in Rotom if my opponent gets a double and just focus down on the Sylveon. So yeah, and keep Tyranitar healthy in the back to knock out this Dragapult. Sylveon will attempt to go for the double. It does fail though, so we will go for an Ancient Power and knock out that Sylveon slot. That's the first time I think I'm seeing Ancient Power in game. Huh. Max Phantasma into the Colossal will pick up the knockout this time, and yeah, but this game should be a wrap. The Dynamax is over for the Dragapult this time, and now we get to go Tyranitar and click Ancient Power, not Ancient Power, Assurance, because we do run Assurance on ours. And I think I just switch out Gastrodon to go into Rotom, which is very safe here. Yeah. Because keeping Rotom around if it's a physical variant of the Dragapult, just in case. Because I can't really tell the damage on what was my team, because I'm not really familiar with all the stats yet. I know that Dragapult's base 120 attack and 100 special attack. Colossus like what, 110 physical defense, I think, and like I think it's 80 speed def, but I can't remember. Since we had Sand Boost, it was basically really similar. So yeah, I'm gonna retreat here into my Rotom. It's just a safer play. I mean, yeah. I mean, also like a fair point. If this was a best of 3, I could just keep in Gastrodon to not preserve information for my opponent, because it would rely on my opponent having to knock out a Pokemon here. But yeah, I'm going for like 100% win con in case there's like something crazy happens. Dragonart's gonna come out into the Rotom and the Tyranitar, and Assurance will be able to, I think, knock it out. Yeah, not really the bulkiest Pokemon in the world. So we are able to pick up a win, which is really nice. Colossal just able to put in some more work, put in some more sweeps for more defensive teams that really just can't really do much damage, because we were just able to set up the Colossal, do a ton of work, and basically get set up for the end game, which I wanted, which was the Tyranitar after seeing the last 2 Pokemon in the back. But yeah, we're going to continue on and play some more games, or, you know, play another game, back-to-back battles, as we'll continue on. And yeah, let us see, because Colossal's been putting in some work. I'm really loving Colossal. It's been putting in a good amount of work. Of course, it's not the strongest Pokemon, even with the weakness policy boosts. I think it's like base 80 attack and the special attack, but it's still doing a really good amount of damage to my opponent's team. This is an interesting team, though. We got Gothitelle, Hitmontop, Rotom, Heat, Duraludon, Shiinotic, and the Dragapult here. So, what I really want to do, Braviary is actually really good here, but so is Tyranitar. I actually really like Tyranitar. The problem is that Rotom, because I just don't feel like I set up easily against this team compared to like the previous teams. But like Duraludon's actually, I mean, not Duraludon, Colossal's really good against my opponent's team if I'm able to set up correctly, because my opponent doesn't have good ways to check, it looks like, because nothing, unless it's like a water type move on the Dragapult, because really nothing really does so much damage to my team. So how do I want to approach this? I'm liking Braviary Colossal actually this time around, because like if my opponent tries to go with like the Hitmontop mode, Braviary can stop it, or at least go for Brave Birds and do a massive amount of damage. So I kind of like that. Have Tyranitar in the back because I want to go for endgame Colossal Sweep if I can. Question is what my last Pokemon wants to be. I think it's either Duraludon or the Gastrodon here. And I think I'm going to go Gastrodon because my opponent doesn't have the best answers to it other than Shiinotic. But I'm bringing a lot of answers to Shiinotic and the Braviary and the Colossal. Well, I guess it's not like the best answers, but still pretty solid overall, I think. So we'll go against Hydra here. We'll see what my opponent decides to bring, but I think we're having a good spot here. We'll see. It just really depends on leads, I think. We're going to see the Rotom plus the Gothitelle. So if I let Colossal Tyranitar, this would have been so nice here. But it's not too bad here. We are trapped. Actually, I should check if we're trapped. Because we might not be. Okay, so it is Shadow Attack confirmed on the Gothitelle here. Should I just Brave Bird and Heat Wave? I could Ancient Power to Rotom actually. Yeah, I'm gonna Ancient Power to Rotom. It might go down to 2 Ancient Powers. Yeah, I think that's worth it. Of course, the Gothitelle also does get access to Fake Out, but I'm not sure if it will go for Fake Out. We'll see, I guess. Turn 1. It has Fake Out or Trick Room options. We're going to see the Gothitelle Protect. I guess fearing a double up potentially into Gothitelle, which makes sense. A Will-O-Wisp to the Braviary. I also not probably want to take so much damage here, as we will get an Ancient Power off into the Rotom slot. And that does a... not as much as I would like. It's barely missing the 2 KO here. I Brave Bird Ancient Power to Rotom. Gothitelle's just really annoying. Trying to think. What are my opponent's switch-ins afterward? Duraludon would be scary if it gets Dynamax under Trick Room. I think I'm going to keep the Rotom around because like Braviary is going to get whisked or it doesn't do anything. So I think I'm just going to go for Heat Wave and Brave Bird and try to get as much damage to this Gothitelle as possible. As perfect, the Rotom actually protects. So this is actually a really good position for us. So I get not really calls, but pretty good positions overall. My opponent was worried about a double up, it looks like. Wow, that did a lot to the Gothitelle. Heat Wave, no Citrus Berry either, so it might be a 50% berry, maybe leftovers. Let's see. Well, not 50% berry, it's a pinch berry, 33% chance now. Trick Room gonna go out, which is an interesting call here because my Colossal was actually slower than the Gothitelle. So Gothitelle might want to protect to stall out, to get Shadow Attack, to keep Shadow Attack. I'm gonna Ancient Power to Rotom here, because my Colossal is slower than the Rotom since I haven't really got the Steam Engine going. So I can just go for an Ancient Power and chip away at this Rotom for some health. And if I can get it to a knockout, that would be great. Of course, I'm not sure how well Colossal is going to take a Psychic plus Thunderbolt. That's definitely a concern here, but we'll see what my opponent decides to do. Because Braviary is really a big threat to my opponent's team too, because my opponent doesn't have good answers to Braviary. Especially if I can stall out the Trick Room. I know Protect from the Gothitelle looks like, which is unfortunate. Oh. So it's Fake Tears, Protect, Trick Room. What's the last move? Psychic? Ancient Power. Doesn't knock out the Rotom. Ooh. Maybe I should have Dynamax. Actually, I should have Dynamax and got the Sand up. That was a big mistake on my part. That would have been a good play. Yeah. Yikes. Okay. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. I'm going to Brave Bird here. The question is, do I want to Dynamax now in case it is Psychic Gothitelle, or do I not want to? Dynamax should allow me to live a Psychic, I think. I want to say it does. Do I need the Dynamax for anything else? Not really, because I think Gastrodon can win in the end game. Yeah, I'm going to go for the Dynamax here. If the Gothitelle doesn't have a attacking move either, like, I'm still in a really good spot if that's the case. So we'll go for that here. I do gotta be worried in the end game, I think, potentially Hitmontop, Dynamax, Duraludon, and Shiinotic. But of course my opponent can't have all three of those, so that's a decent start to this position. Let's see what my opponent will do here, as we will Dynamax our Colossal here. Even though we don't have the policy boost, this Colossal might still put in a good amount of work here. Getting rid of Rotom is pretty nice. Although really the only thing that's really threatening with the Rotom is against my Braviary, but still pretty nice to get rid of the Rotom. Don't have to worry about Will-O-Wisp for the rest of the game chipping me away. We're going to see the Dynamax come out from... Is this the Rotom? This might... Oh, please don't tell me it's the Gothitelle predicting. No, it's the Rotom. Okay. So as long as I live Psychic, which I feel like I should be good to go. So let's see here. Let's see. Because I also send up the Sand, which is nice. Yeah, Psychic coming out. God dang it. Man. Colossal, I was hoping you were taking that. Now it's Max Lightning coming out, yeah. Well, that's bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. On the bright side, we stalled out some Trick Room turns, but yeah, that's bad. I really regret not doing the Dynamax play earlier, because that would have been so good. I just didn't consider at the time. I kind of rushed my moves. I always get confused on how to swap Pokemon. I guess you just pick into two, but I don't know how the order works. Doesn't really matter in this game, but it could affect like future games. We get Tyranitar and Gastrodon in, and man, Fake Tears is probably coming out, and I can't even stop it because both my Pokemon aren't exactly like let's see, both my Pokemon don't have Protect, so I'm just gonna Rock Slide Scald, I guess. Like, I have to attack here. I guess I could technically recover stall with Gastrodon, but like there's not really a point to going for a cover right here. I'll just try to get a double knockout, see what's in the back. How many turns of Trick Room was this? I think this is the 4th turn, so I think the next turn is the last one. Which is unfortunate because my opponent's going to get 2 free switch-ins. At least my opponent can't Dynamax anymore, which is very, very good. Because I don't have to worry about Duraludon being Dynamax. But yeah, regret not Dynamaxing the Colossal. Didn't really occur to me. Also, I would have had a move to knock out the Rotom. Yveltal going for Protect, okay. We will Scald. I actually hope we missed a Rock Slide. Max Flare into the Tyranitar. That lowers the power of my Scald. I actually really hope we miss a... I actually really hope we miss here. Because missing would be good for us. Mr. Rotom, I need you to miss. Now we hit it. A miss would have been good because we could have stalled out the last turn of Trick Room more effectively. And then we could have gotten in a position where maybe we could Rock Slide flinch or maybe overwhelm our opponent somehow. But I think my opponent definitely brought the Hitmontop in the back, and that's going to come out. It should be Hitmontop, or at least Duraludon. Because if you're setting up the Sun, you're probably going to go for a Duraludon, a Flash Cannon. What is this Pokemon? Okay, it is the Hitmontop. Well, Close Combat's gonna come out. I'm gonna Earth Power the Gothitelle. Maybe I could burn the Dash. Maybe Gastrodon's slow and I should go for a burn. I think that's a better play actually, because I'm already like very limited on outs. Oh, we're actually gonna see Fake Out into the Gastrodon, which is interesting. Gets a critical hit, not too big of a deal. I doubt it's really gonna change much of this game. Fake Tear is gonna come out into the Gastrodon as well. So I wonder what my opponent has in the back. I'm guessing it's a Duraludon. Him on top of Voice, which is fine. We get a Rock Slide off. We knock out the Gothitelle. Okay. That miss could help if it was a eject button Hitmontop, but it's going to come down to the last Pokemon here. Probably the Duraludon. Yep. At least Duraludon can't. Okay, so I'm going to need some Rock Slide magic. If this Hitmontop is a wide guard, you should definitely go for it here. But yeah, I'm going for some Rock Slide magic here, and there's always a way out with Rock Slide, they say. So Rock Slide does connect with both Pokemon. Let's see. I know it's not. Draco comes out. That's going to knock out my Gastrodon. Yeah, that's game. I needed a flinch on both. Or I needed a flinch on the Hitmontop and the Duraludon not to be Assault Vest. Or I needed to crit the Duraludon. Those were my outs. I mean, I flinched the Hitmontop. That was 1 out of 2. Needed the Duraludon more. Again, I'm going to keep going for Rock Slide. It is my best play. I mean, like, if I have a win con, I have a win con. And that's flinching multiple times. Very unlikely, but it's possible. But, yeah. So, if I were to look back at this game, I think mainly it was that one turn. That one turn where I could have Dynamaxed the, that did nothing. Hold up, why did that do... Oh yeah, -2. -2. I was about to say, it's in Sun, so I don't have the Sand Boost. That gives me the plus 1.5 Speed Def. But then it was like, yeah, still surprised I did a bit too little. But yeah, as I mentioned before, I think it was the one turn where I didn't realize I could Dynamax my Colossal the turn before. and knock out the Rotom Den. Because if I did that, I wouldn't have to take so much damage from the Thunderbolt into the Psychic. I would have had I would have knocked out the Rotom. I would have been in a really good spot actually. Because my Braviary would have been still alive too. I would have been down. It's like 2-4, and then like all I have to do is like preserve my. Because one, I wouldn't have to worry about the fake tears on Gastrodon. Two, I could just preserve Braviary. So yeah, as long as I could get like Braviary Gastrodon on the end game, I think that was fine. And I could have done that if I Dynamaxed the Colossal that one turn instead. So gotta work on proper usage of my Dynamax and realize when I could use it to my full advantage. But good lesson learned. Hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2020 Baek Battles. If you did enjoy it, please leave a like down below. Show support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social medias, the side saves on my channel, and all that other good stuff linked down below. There is a placement of this team if you do want to go try it out, linked down below as well. And yeah, if you want to go an extra mile to support my channel, you could always just leave a like on the video, share it with your friends, and answer the comment question down below, which was your favorite soundtrack in Sword and Shield. Otherwise, if you want to like go an extra step further, you can check out my Patreon page, my Twitch channel, and check out my merch, 20% off to December 14th with the code Baek. But otherwise, thank you everyone who has been tuning in, supporting me, and until we battle again, I'll catch you around next time.